What do you think this is? A costume?
Well, Bobby Dangerously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Hi, it changed it up today on you.
I know. You like that? I mean, you did it.
Mhm.
All right. Episode 75. How the heck did we get here?
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, that's how. Well, there's quite a few people in the chat already, but let's just tell everybody right away, right now, right off the bat. Adam is not feeling well, and so obviously no one wants to do something like this when they're not feeling well. And Oz is taking the week off, which
Yeah.
is cool and deserved. And Sean, I don't think Sean's going to be able to make it tonight either. So it's just Bobby and Skelly tonight. And
Yep.
it's just two old dudes. It's basically going to be Statler and Waldorf talking about the Eternia Playset all night. I don't know if anybody's ready for that.
And I was supposed to have off for a month, and now I'm stuck here with you.
You got stuck. Just so everybody knows, Bobby was taking a break, and I said, please.
Oh, you did not. I reached out to you and said, hey, I'll jump on. I don't want to leave you hanging. That's how good of a friend I am.
Bobby is a good friend. Bobby's a good friend. That would, by the way, I had a moment about 5 minutes before you jumped on.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be by myself tonight. And I was getting really nervous about that. But I'm glad you popped on. And I think our perspective is going to be a good one on the Eternia playset. I think it'll be fun to talk about this.
Eternia sucks. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, right. Let's do that. That'd be fun.
But before we talk about the Eternia playset, let's say hello to the folks that are in the chat. Sure. All right, Aaron. Hey, good to see you, Aaron. And I am pretty confident this is the Aaron. Hey, we were just talking about this. Thanks so much for sending this my way. Bobby and I were just talking about how much we love Return of the Living Dead and Tarman and Linnea Quigley. Mm-hmm. And so thank you, Aaron, for that. And JMax77, great to see you. Hope you had a great week too. Ace, as usual, great to see you. Highly in Dread, great to see you here. Hey, we got Vine Jungle Figure Factory. I love this guy's work, folks. Go check out his stuff. Amazing stuff. Great to see you here, my friend. Yep. Yeah, we got Duchess here. Good to see you, Duchess. And Ray Black, great to see you here.
No bingo
yes. What was that?
I said no bingo tonight, right?
No bingo tonight.
I know. I keep ragging on her. Sorry.
I know. That's when somebody says they've got bingo going on, it's hard to forget. I admire that. If somebody on here was like, "I'm busy playing bridge with my golf buddies," I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's retro." All right, we got Nolan here. Great to see you. What does Oz say? If it's not a toy stream without Nolan.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. I'm going to try and do these things. Don't know if I can do it. Ace, Bobby.
Hey.
All right. Ronald Embry, great to see you here. Hey, Carol's here. Great to see you, Carol. Ronald Embry, Carol, J-Mac. Okay, people are talking to each other. And I did it. I got through them.
Cool.
All right, we'll say hello to the new folks that pop in. But
yeah. So what do you got coming up, Skelly?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the end of the
episode. It, folks. Let's see. What do we got coming up for tonight. I know what's exciting to you, Bobby. Let's dig deep.
What's exciting to me?
Yeah, what's exciting to you right now? What are you excited about?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on. Come on. You know there's something.
Like toy wise, or just
Anything, really.
anything.
Let's get crazy. Let's move beyond toys for a moment.
Okay. So, what's exciting for me that's coming up? Well, I already mentioned that once, the Hellboy movie, but that's old news already.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, and I was
Um,
gonna say Toxic Avenger, but that's old news
yeah.
too.
Well, King Diamond is putting out that single finally on vinyl,
Oh,
Masquerade
yeah.
of Death. So he's been talking. Well, I heard that song like years ago when he released it, then COVID hit. But hopefully that means the new album's right around the corner. So I'm excited about that.
I love that he's still making music.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, my old buddy, he's a guitar tech for them, a guy I used to know in Chicago. Uh, he guitar techs for them, and he used to be a guitar tech for Megadeth, I believe, and somebody
Man,
else. Yeah,
that's an awesome roster of bands to be a
yeah,
guitar
yeah.
tech for.
And I was happy because we all we were all into music at the time and doing stuff like that, and at least one of us was able to do something in music. So it's pretty exciting to see him. I actually saw him when I saw King Diamond in 2019. He was on stage, doing stuff, but I couldn't get him. I was too far away,
Oh,
and they wouldn't let me go up there and try to talk to him.
well, it's because you were wearing that weird outfit. They were like,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
keep him away from the stage."
yeah,
um, yeah, that's an awesome thing to be excited about.
yeah.
When we have these beloved bands and they put something new out,
Yes,
hopefully it doesn't suck, and
that's true.
then it's exciting,
Yeah.
even now. I well, no, let me step back. I was gonna say even now I get excited when Kiss announces something, but I really haven't gotten excited about Kiss in a long time.
I've
So
been on a Kiss thing lately myself.
I just can't get into the new stuff that they're doing. But every
No.
time they announce a thing, I get kind of interested for a moment.
What about the
Well, you
avatars? Are you excited about that?
no, I'm not interested in that at
No,
all.
me either.
I don't see how that's pushing any boundaries. I don't see that as interesting at all.
I remember, I think we mentioned this before when I talked about it, but I know this is like years ago that Paul Stanley mentioned something about that once they're done, other people can get in the makeup and continue the band. I'm like, no, that's not what Kiss is,
You and I talked about how the Hives are going to do that or thinking about doing that, like franchising
Right.
themselves. And
Yep.
part of me is like, that's kind of a great concept. Then part of me is like, it's still not ever going to be the same as going to see
No.
the real band
Right.
perform. And
Right.
and you and I have talked about this. It's not if seeing Kiss without Peter Criss
Right.
and without Ace Frehley, it's just not the same.
No,
It's
it's
just not
not.
the same.
No. And even when I even bought the new albums when they came out with the two that came out with the other guys, Thayer and Singer, and they just sound like they're trying to especially Thayer, he's trying to mimic the sound of Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
And it just seems cheap to me.
Yeah,
You know?
it doesn't work. And it's
Yeah.
also weird. I liked it better back in the day when Ace and Peter left the band and they got new people to play new characters.
Yeah.
New Kiss members playing other
Yeah.
characters rather than Space Ace and the
Right,
cat,
right.
And so
Yeah.
it's weird to have people playing those characters.
Yeah, and they've
So
been doing it for 20 years, which is odd.
that's so crazy.
It-
That just makes me feel old, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you think about it, they've been doing it since what, 2002
Yeah.
with Thayer and Singer doing the makeup
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
crazy to
seem
me.
20 something years. Yeah, it's just
So I
weird.
guess there's some people that just know that. If there's young people who get into Kiss now, they're just going to know that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah.
Let's say hello to Julia Honer. Great to see you, Julia. And All Music Fan 88. Great to see you here. And Cobb Webb. Great to see you, Cobb. Man, Cobb is up on the posting new videos of new figures. Like,
Yep.
Cobb's really making it happen. That's so cool. He's become my go-to for looking at figures I'm not going to get.
Is he getting all of those figures like donated to him, or is he actually buying those?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
know?
That's a good question. I know that there are places to buy figures. So that I don't know the names of the stores, but I know there are places where you can order these figures and you make sure you get them early. I never
Yeah.
really bothered to do that or pay
No.
extra, maybe eBay or something.
Right.
But
Right.
like, but he does have a pretty good situation happening. Maybe he's just paying that extra money to get the
Yeah.
figures early.
Yeah. I was just curious because he
Yeah.
seems to get in like everything. So
Yeah, it's impressive.
yeah,
Impressive.
I'd I'd run out of money really fast if I was doing stuff like that.
Me too. Me too. And I run out of space too, which would be an issue. But the other thing too, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Cobb, and I was thinking about
Yeah.
Pixel Dan, like Pixel
Yeah.
Dan and Cobb.
Right.
Two different situations here. Pixel Dan's been doing
Yes.
this for ages.
Yep.
I can't. He must have like a storage unit where he keeps this stuff,
That has to.
or he has like a eBay where he sells them or something. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Maybe.
um, but Cobb's just getting started, so maybe like this will Cobb after Origins and the cartoon collection and
Hmm.
Masterverse are done, he'll stop or something like that. Maybe it's like a, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe Cobb's going to be one of those folks that's going to get a.
Yeah.
I buy them all. No one gives me crap. That's good. Well, we're not going to give you crap. I
No.
commend you on that for sure. That is real dedication, my friends.
Yes, that is. Yep.
All right.
Definitely.
Oh, we got John, figuratively speaking. Good to
Hey,
see you
John.
here. Oh yeah. Hylian saying like Gene Simmons will be replaced with AI Gene Simmons.
That's true. It is happening.
It's happening already.
Yeah.
So here's where I'm kind of like interested in this. Is this going to transfer over to like live shows? There was that one
I think
performance,
so.
like they did that one performance where they had a hologram of Tupac show up,
Yeah.
and so maybe they're going to do stuff like
Well, they
that.
keep referencing the ABBA thing
Oh yeah,
that they
there's that
did.
too.
Yeah. So I believe they're going to make it a concert, but it's like on the big screen, and that's what I'm assuming. I believe because they said it's not going to be out until 2027. So unless it's just going to be like on a computer or something, or virtual streaming or something like that, or whatever, I'm not sure. But they
Gene,
wanted you to kind of like be at a concert though, like make
yeah,
it like a live experience. So I would almost assume it's a live concert deal.
yeah, that might be interesting. But Gene, Paul, if you're listening, don't just have it feel like a movie,
Right.
right? Make it engaging. Get out there in the crowd, like really push the technology.
Yeah.
Um, hire some Disney Imagineers or something. I don't know. Really push the boundaries. Do something new with it. Include some animatronics too. Like
Yeah.
make it a big thing. Like make it something that's like that you've never. Hey, you have the technology. Make it like you've never been able to make it before.
Right.
Don't just do the same old thing, just hologram version, right?
Right. Then you'll pay $600 to sit in a nosebleed seat.
For that, I mean,
Right.
right? Exactly. I
They'll
steamed up
think
my
we're bigger
glasses
than the
just
Super
now.
Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's that. I guess that's. Oh, you also sent me that image of the box set for the first album and all that stuff
Yes.
that
Yeah.
comes with it.
That's
Um,
massive.
that's a massive thing. Like that's
Yeah.
basically people are gonna be paying the price of like a 2 Eternia play sets for that.
Yeah. I can't imagine. It's supposed to be out soon, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the price is. I haven't looked it up since I sent that to you.
I hope that they're reissuing that. I know that album's been available on vinyl. It'd be really cool if they reissued just the album, but also some of those T-shirts too were pretty cool.
Yeah. 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 I have all of them on vinyl from the back in
Yeah,
the day. Yeah. But
Nice.
that box set was pretty cool. I love the first 3 albums the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a
I don't
Destroyer fan.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I'm a Dress to Kill fan.
yeah. Oh, I
That's
love Dress to Kill too. I
yeah.
also love Dress to Kill just for the album photo.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
It's one of the best album photos ever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and that was the first record I ever bought. I was, what,
oh,
11?
really?
I was 11 years old. I walked down to Rex Music on Ewing Avenue, 105th Street,
Nice.
and, he had it there. It was for $3, so I was able to get it, and
That's cool.
that's when I became a big music fan. I was starting off with that day.
Yeah, I have a reissue of Dress to Kill on
Oh,
vinyl
do you?
here. Yeah,
Yeah, I actually have the original pressing of it.
nice.
Yeah, I don't have the insert sleeve, but I do have the album, and it's all,
Yeah,
original.
that's awesome. I found a original pressing of Destroyer, but
I have that
no pun
too.
intended.
Yeah.
It was like destroyed. It had
Oh, yeah.
definitely lived a life, but I couldn't resist. I was like, I got to get that. Yeah,
Yeah, my originals I have is Dress to Kill, Destroyer, Dynasty,
yeah.
Alive 2,
Oh yeah,
and Double
good,
Platinum, and
nice,
Ace Frehley's solo and Paul Stanley's solo.
nice.
All those original pressings.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have two. I have two copies on accident of Ace Frehley's solo album.
Oh, wow.
Um, well, we got to go back to this real quick. Vine Jungle Figure Factory. You want Chuck E. Cheese Kiss concerts?
Yeah, right.
I'm going to tell you right now. Fuck yeah, that would be
Animatronics.
amazing. That would be so good. I would definitely pay to go to a concert of that.
Or
Yes.
how about this, like a Kiss ride, like it is like, Pirates of the Caribbean, but you go through
Oh my God.
all the different years of Kiss. You drive around and
Yes.
you see like the different concerts, and then there are different costumes.
That would be amazing. So, speaking of which, let's see. Let me get my notes here. We have an Eternia Land map contest going
Yes.
on right now. All you have to do is email me your drawing of how you would visualize Eternia as Disneyland, as an amusement park, as a theme park.
Right.
Eternia Land map contest. And you want to be thinking about stuff like this, like Bobby just said, the Pirates of the Caribbean Kiss ride. Like what kind of I mean, that's amazing. Who wouldn't want to go on a ride like that? I mean, I love pirates, so I love
Yes.
the Pirates ride. But like, imagine theme park, imagine Eternia, imagine all of the different Filmation episodes, all of the different iterations of
Yep.
Masters, and think of a park. I mean, I'm already thinking of like, what's the name of? See, Adam's not here, but you'll probably know the name. What's the name of Granimir's mountain?
Dark Smoke, right?
Dark Smoke. So
Yeah.
like immediately, Matterhorn, Dark
Right.
Smoke,
Yep.
right? It's easy.
Yep.
And this is not, the winner is not based on artistic merit.
That's
So
true.
you do not have to be a good artist. And by the way, what's good art anyways?
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a good artist to participate or to win. It's about the ideas and if you had fun with it or not, really. My email address is right down below in the information. Just scroll through that information. I'll type it in here when I get a moment to not be, when I'm not talking. But yeah, so it's due February 22nd.
Yep. It's coming up quick.
That's coming up quick. Nobody's submitted anything. So if you're the
Okay.
only person that submits,
Then you win
then you
by
win. And
default.
we've got these posters here that are phenomenal,
Yep.
Masters of the Universe art posters. Let me just show what we got here from David, Mo2 Origins Cork. This is just a smattering of what we have here, but look at these things. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, it's just phenomenal. Oh, this
It's
is
real
my
good
favorite
paper
one, actually.
too.
The prints are beautiful. These should be
Yes.
framed. These
Yep.
should be framed. This is my favorite one here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of my favorites, I should
Yep.
say. I love this empty space here.
Yeah. I was just thinking there's a
Um,
lot on the right side.
yeah, I love that. That's a good balance. Anyways, there's a bunch of these. The winner will get a full packet of posters. You're Ace. You're expecting creative people to submit stuff before a deadline.
That's true.
Hey, Ace. Yes, before the deadline. Also, um, Bobby, you've been in bands.
Yes.
You know how when you're in bands with people and like I would always show up first to the shows.
Yeah.
And I always felt like an idiot because all the other musicians I was playing with, the people in my band, would they'd show up like they'd show up late, like
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
sound check or and they never cared about being late or they would laugh it off or whatever. And I've always been the type of artist that likes a deadline, that works well with a deadline.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Well, I was a drummer too, so I had to set up all my stuff. So
Yeah.
I definitely had to get there early, but I was always there because I was always excited to play live and mingle with the people and stuff like that for a
Yeah.
little while,
Yep.
and then get up on stage and you got all that adrenaline pumping. Yeah, getting
Yeah.
there late and stuff, it's just throws you off, and
Yeah, I get
you need to build that up. You know?
exactly. And I would get so nervous that
Yeah,
being late made it worse.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
or it makes you mad, and then you don't play as good,
Yeah.
and you should be there. Unless you got a drug problem or whatever, but
Which happens.
that's true. That's how my band
Uh,
broke up.
well, there you go. Find Jungle Figure Factory. I will enter. There
Awesome.
you go. Cobweb, Space, Snake Mountain.
Yes.
Of course,
Right?
right? You guys got it.
Mhm.
Eternos, Sleeping Beauty Castle. I mean, all this stuff, or better yet, Castle Grayskull right in the center.
Well, that's what I said, yeah, and have it
Yeah, you
as your
said that last
entranceway. Yeah, yeah.
time.
All kinds of possibilities. Create it, make it
Yeah.
cool.
Ace, you do not have Skelly. Do you not have ADHD? Um, yeah, well, that'll be a whole subject for another episode. We'll talk about it the whole time. Um, and I will say, Toy Frenzy is one of the only things I consistently show up early to. That's
Oh, nice.
awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. I
Dedicated
will
fan.
say that I've not been diagnosed, but I'm fairly confident, Ace, that I have ADD, but that contributes to my compulsion to make sure that I'm sticking to a schedule. So I don't have the hyperactivity part of that
Mhm.
disorder, which can cause additional complications to the distractions, and so I understand that for sure.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, uh, so that's sorry, Bobby. You
No,
inspired me to bring that up. You
no, that's
inspired
fine.
me to bring that up.
It's just like you said earlier. You were 5 minutes prior to me showing up, and then you're, like, all nervous. That proves it
Bobby,
right there.
I know, right? Bobby and I were laughing because we were like, let's go on time, which was what we came on 4 minutes late just to
Yeah.
mess with people. And
I
also
I
because
personally think it's rude that we show up late, but
I
that's
don't
just
like
me.
showing up late either, Bobby. I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. And we're not blaming other people at all,
Mm-mm.
but I just feel better about myself if I'm on
Yep.
time.
Yep.
And so, figuratively, John is saying a roller coaster with sky sleds. Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. Yeah. Um, that
Dumbo ride.
the Dumbo ride
Yeah. Mo
with sky sleds would be cool too.
or
Sorry.
or, Wind Raiders. Yeah.
Wind Raiders. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the possibilities are endless, folks.
Yeah.
I picture a pirate style ride in Eternia Land being, it could be inspired by Subternia in
Yeah.
Revelation. And there's
Yeah.
its scare glow and
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Skeleton
Um,
themed.
just skeleton themed,
Yeah.
exactly. Skeletons and ghosts. Haunted Mansion as a pirates ride would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my two favorites combined.
Yep. Do you see what they're doing with the Haunted Mansion now?
Yeah, should we talk about that?
You can.
Disneyland is like my favorite playset. Um, since we're talking about the Eternia playset tonight, I just want to say, like, if there was a playset that you could have on your tabletop of Disneyland, I think that would make me very happy. But it would
Yeah.
have to be from a particular era, and so I have mixed feelings about them changing elements of rides that I'm familiar with and that
So,
I love.
so you would rather keep walking the cattle thing compared to what they're designing how you enter now?
Uh, it depends on what they do. It looks to
It
me
looks
from the design.
nice.
It looks
Yeah.
to me from the designs that it just kind of looks like you're walking through a nice park, kind
Yeah.
of thing. I kind
It's
of
better than staring at people all day back and forth.
okay. I have mixed feelings about this. I kind of love that line had not changed and that it was like a bullshit line. You're like, it
Yes,
sucks.
it
It
was.
sucks.
You think you're
And
getting closer, then all of a sudden it wraps you
all
all
of
the
a
way
sudden
around.
you're
Wait,
further
wait,
away.
yeah.
I know. I know. I'm with you on that, but I also am sad to see it go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's classic, but every it's not bad to update it either.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Ace just provided us with a lot of good information about ADHD and how to define it and how it can be misread. And misunderstood. So yeah, have a look at that, folks. Good
Yep.
comment, Ace.
Yep.
Um, I Vine Jungle Figure Factory is saying I still miss 20,000 Leagues ride.
Wow.
So I'm sad about that because the submarine ride is different now. Hey, Seb and Baloo, good to see you. Um, all the way from France. What time
Wow.
is it over there, Seb? Let us know. Um, that's cool.
Yep.
I think that when these things change, I get sad. I get sad, and then I enjoy it. I enjoy how it's changed. It's just a matter of like accepting the change and rolling with it. I'm kind of interested in seeing what the new Swiss Family Robinson treehouse looks like.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, kind of interested in seeing how the
Oh, they're
new
changing
line.
that whole thing up, right? That's not even gonna be that anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a different family.
Yeah.
They're aware of Swiss Family Robinson and they're
Oh, is that what it is?
inspired by Swiss Family Robinson, but they've chosen to live in a treehouse, which is different from Swiss Family
Oh, yeah,
Robinson.
I'm thinking of the other one that's next to, the Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
Oh,
They're changing that Swiss Family Robinson too.
yeah,
Mm.
and they did
That's
already. It's already
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say
already open.
it's done now, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I was just
and
there.
then Splash Mountain is Tiana's
That's what it is, yeah. Splash Mountain's the
Bayou
one that's changing.
Adventure.
Yep, something like that, yep.
As long as the ride is the same and they, you know, create something new and interesting, that's cool. I'm gonna miss those songs.
I never went on
Uh,
that ride.
you didn't?
No,
Oh,
I don't like getting wet. Like, I
oh
hate walking
man,
around in wet pants all the time.
yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
I
I
mean,
will say it.
you'll get a little bit wet on the Pirates, but that ain't nothing. I don't
No,
like
that's
the
nothing.
big
Yeah,
splashing and getting soaked. I don't like doing it because
yeah,
then
and
I'm
it's a
miserable.
gamble too because you sometimes would get really wet and sometimes
Yeah.
not wet at all.
Well, the funny thing is because I went into the, shop there that's right next to it,
Yeah.
and the guy was saying, "Yeah, it sucks," because I saw they had a bunch of socks and stuff on the wall and everything like that. He's like, "Yeah, they do this on purpose, so when you go there," and they have T-shirts as well, "so if you're soaked, you go and buy new stuff to wear so you
Yeah.
could be dry." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Boy, they just really know how to rip you off, don't they?"
Yeah, they do. They do. Disney is all about that money grab,
Yeah, it
and
is.
I'm a sucker for it. I am. I'm a sucker for it. We all are. We all
Yeah,
are in
those
some
shish
ways.
kebabs though that they have there are good.
Oh, dang. At the in Adventureland.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget the name of that place. Bengal Barbecue.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I knew it was
Yeah,
something like a
Bengal.
tiger or something like.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like at lunchtime I beeline it there. Or the Ronto wraps are pretty good over at Galaxy's Edge too.
Oh, really? I didn't have those.
Yeah, try them. They're good.
Yeah.
We Ace is saying I was so sad I never got to ride the original Tower of Terror. It was when it was the Twilight Zone. It was ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It's too bad it's not anymore. But I also kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy too.
I did ride that weird one that was in Disney World where it shuts the lights off because the scientist did that thing and then the monster escaped and the lights go out and you feel it breathing on you in the back of your head and all that.
Oh, that was only
Yeah.
there briefly,
Yeah,
right?
and I
yeah,
got on that and that was wild.
I heard that was kind of
It's
terrifying.
it is. People were screaming their head off because you could feel like the breath and you hear them like because you got that seats kind of like you know how you hear the Haunted Mansion, you got the speakers behind you.
Yeah.
Well, they do this where it sounds like the monster's here, and then you could feel the breath go across your neck. Then you can hear him on this side, and then
Oh,
you could just feel it like he's like right there by you because they show you what he looks like
that's
at first, and then yeah, but they
that's
took
cool.
that down. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I love
I,
that. That's sad
I
that it's. I never got to experience that.
yeah, that was what 1991 I think was when I saw that. I believe I know I
Um,
was in Disney World at 91, but I might have been 97 maybe. I can't remember.
yeah, I've never been to Disney World. Maybe
I've been there
maybe I'll.
twice.
That's cool.
97 and or 98 and 91.
Yeah, one of these days I'll get the family there. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
it's huge, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've been there though.
Ace, it's over the Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy version of Tower of Terror is in California Adventure
Yeah.
near Disneyland. And if you want to see, this is a Disney nerd thing, Disney Parks nerd thing. If you want to see the original Harold, the abominable snowman, he's in the collector's collection of space oddities as you're walking through the line
Mm.
to get on that ride. He's actually just right up there.
Oh, you just know all about that guy, huh?
I love Harold. I love him. I love that he has a name, Harold. Like
Yeah,
I
right.
love that. But let's see. So I hope you're all thinking about oh, Eldor's here. How did we miss Eldor? Where
Hey,
is
Elder.
he? Where is he? Oh, there
He's
he
up there
is.
somewhere. Yeah.
All right, good to see you here. Fantastic. So if I missed anybody, apologies. Just put in another comment in the chat, and I'll get to you.
Say, hey, asshole, you forgot me.
Yeah, say that. Joe's here. All right, Joe. Hey, I feel bad about that car accident, man. I'm just glad you're
Oh
okay.
yeah.
I'm just glad you're okay, Joe. Yeah. So be thinking about Eternia Land. So I've been looking at images of people getting their Eternia playsets,
Yep.
and I have to admit, I'm kind of excited for folks getting this thing. It's crazy. I mean, for a playset, this is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It seems like it's bigger than the vintage, and
It
but
is. Yeah.
the quality is remarkable.
Yeah.
The play aspect is great. I mean, it just seems like people are having fun with it, and it's an insane investment.
It is.
But I think it's kind of interesting as a kind of artifact and a period of time of masters becoming becoming of interest again, and
Hmm.
Mattel making all this stuff. Um,
I just can't believe it's been what almost a year and a half now since we've.
I feel like it's been longer. No, it can't have been.
It
Yeah, a
was
year and
that
a half, I guess.
October, right? October
Yeah, I guess
when we
so.
ordered
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, hello to HP Brown Sauce Craft. Great to see you, as always. So, you got it. You ordered it,
Yes, I did.
right?
Yep.
And have you gotten the shipping notice yet or
No,
anything?
I have not. Nope.
Not yet.
No shipping notice yet.
So they're doing this in stages. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I bought it late.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they're probably doing it by order, like order. Maybe I don't know. Who knows what they're doing it, but I'm assuming it's placement of order in order how people
It,
ordered it. If
it sure
I
seems.
can't fucking speak. Blah.
Yeah, me
It's like,
neither.
yeah, I know.
That's okay.
I feel like I'm
We're gonna
too
roll with it. We're gonna roll with it.
yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Cobb is saying October 22nd of last year.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah.
last year or the year before
The
last?
year before last.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021 2.
So October 22.
Yeah.
Oh, October 2022 is what Cobb is saying. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think.
Yeah.
Could be October 22, 2022.
Could be.
10/22/2022.
I think it was the whole month.
Yeah, that's right. But they
Yeah.
closed it. Yeah, it
Like
feels
end
crazy
of
that it
like
was.
the first or second week of November or something. I think it was like 6 weeks maybe. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it was.
Um, so Aaron is saying he bought his super early and hasn't received a shipping notice
Okay.
yet. So I guess they are. It's hit and miss. I mean, we've seen that
Area?
with.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, could be location.
Yeah.
And Ace, there are a ton of homemade Modi figs out there. Just letting you know, a ton of them.
Yes,
I
there
think
are. Kenzo,
Kenzo
yeah.
Kenzo's been making them for a while. Definitely go over to Kenzo's Instagram and reach out. But yeah, people have been making them, so they're there.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Cobb says I was a first day backer and no shipping till today. So it must be location, but that doesn't make
Maybe.
sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, who knows? Maybe they just put it in your name in a ball and then they spin the thing and then that's when they
Yeah.
pull it out. All right, we'll ship these today.
Yeah. Or alphabetical order or something like that.
Yeah,
Someone's going to
something.
figure it out.
Well, he
But I
would be
feel like,
almost last though. Then I would have mine before him.
oh, that's true. Yeah. So I think Mattel Creations is kind of notorious for this, right? What was
Yes.
it that I was waiting on for ages and it
Oh,
finally came?
I got the Frogmonger, and then you
Frogmonger.
guys were waiting like months for that
That's right.
afterwards.
It was like 2 months after you got yours, we got ours.
It might have been longer. I don't know.
I
But
think it
yeah,
might have been longer too.
yeah, I was like shocked
Um,
how long it took you guys to get that.
I know. So I don't know what their system is,
Yeah,
and maybe they're doing it that way on purpose so that it's not predictable.
yeah. But why
Um,
would they do that?
because toy collectors are a little bit crazy. They want
Yeah,
they want to know when they're getting it, and that would just be good. It would be good to know. What am I talking about? It would be good to know. Mattel,
yeah,
have a system in place.
yeah, right.
So All Music Fan 88 knows they do ship at random and not in order of orders coming in. All right.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, Aaron would be in the first group. Yeah. That's true.
Right.
And Grizzlors took forever. Yep.
Oh, was that the remake or the reissued Grizzlor?
Oh yeah.
Which they
That's
did
a good
say it was going to
question.
take a year for it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they were up in front about that one.
That's true.
We fought that good fight, man. All the way back when I had my first podcast, and we were talking about that. And
Yeah.
it's crazy how long ago that's been now. That was
Can you
October
believe
of 20 or August of 2022 or something around there at that time. Yeah.
so the first figures came out in 20, right?
Yes.
It's been
Yeah, during COVID.
During COVID.
Yeah,
It's been 4
August
years,
of
people.
2020.
It's been
It's
4
5 years.
years.
Well, it'd be
Fi
5 years this August. Yeah.
That's right. That's crazy to me.
Yep. Well, I'd said that it would be a 5-year plan. So far it's up there, and I'm sure it'll continue next year as well. So
You think it's going to go past the 5-year plan?
I think it'll be past this year. I think they'll put
Yeah.
stuff out next year. I would assume.
They're just one of these days they're just going to cut it off and nobody's
Yeah.
going to be ready for it.
Yeah. Right.
No one's going to be ready. Or maybe we'll all be ready. We'll all
Yeah.
be so burnt out that we'll be ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a little bit burnt out, to be honest with you.
I've been burnt out for
I
a
know,
year.
I know I'm preaching to the choir talking to you about it. Yes, I need French subtitles. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we don't have the French subtitles going for you. Bobby, do you know any French?
No, I don't.
Me neither. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry,
But
Seb and Baloo.
But I used to on Facebook. I would translate what I wanted to say into French, and I would message people, and they'd be like, "What the hell are you saying?" I just do it on purpose, just to be goofy.
That's awesome. I think we can do it tonight. If we just extend this episode into the Ostradamus Toys realm, 6 hour long, we could make a statement, look up the translation, paste the statement in the chat in French. But we don't want to do that to folks. I mean, Oz has that territory covered, and he does it better than anybody.
Yep.
You'll all just be falling asleep with Bobby and I trying to do all that.
Oh shit! Speaking of jokes, you you actually believe that Shemp thing?
I will tell you right now. Okay, so folks who are not if you're not a patron of this channel, or if anybody who hosts this show, those links are right down below, and you can be involved in chats where something like this might happen. So Bobby posted today, and by the way, I just bumped my mic. By the way, what you posted today was like Andy Kaufman level believability and unbelievability at the same time. If any of you know who Andy Kaufman is, like it was hard to tell what was a joke and what was real. So Bobby posted in our Patreon chat a picture of Shemp Howard. If you know who Shemp is, he's one of the Three Stooges. And and Harrison Ford, and said Harrison Ford is the adopted, the child of Shemp who was given up for adoption. And listen, Hollywood's weird. And I'm just going to defend myself a little bit here. Hollywood's weird. I actually did a little investigation on this.
See, I was hoping some people would, because that's hilarious.
I had to do a little search, but it was a busy day at work. I couldn't spend too much time with it. But I did a little search. I didn't find anything. I found one sort of hilarious reference to it. And so then I started to get suspicious. But for Bobby, folks, Bobby kept it so serious. He didn't and the people in the Patreon chat, I think they were thinking that you might be serious too, because nobody was doing the happy face with smiley tears.
Right.
No one was doing that. No laughing, no LOLs, none of that. No one does LOLs anymore.
No.
And so I started to think, holy shit, Bobby might be onto something, because the more you look at Shemp Howard's face and Harrison Ford's face, the more you realize these dudes look a lot alike. Harrison Ford could have been a Howard. He could have been related to Mo. He could have been related to Shemp. He's definitely not a Fine. No. He's not related to Larry Fine at all. But man, I got you. I
Did you like the second one I said, though, where I said that he didn't want to name him Harrison. He actually wanted to name him Howard's son.
That's when I was like, fuck you, Bobby. I see what's going on here. Yeah, I just was like, then after, it's like I kept going back and forth. Like, is Bobby making a joke out of the situation that's real now? Like, and it was hard to tell. So high five to you.
I actually did that a few years ago to the guys that I was with on Collectors of Power.
I did
it in a text, and they believed it. And I just thought of it because I saw Three Stooges last night, and I was like, oh, I gotta do this joke. I, it's
I
funny.
just I love it. It made me so happy today. Even if it were, yeah, it made me happy whether it was real or it was fake.
Yeah,
You know, this story unfolds. Imagine the Hollywood legacy of Harrison Ford being combined suddenly
yeah,
with a revelatory, leaking of information. Suddenly he's part of the Three Stooges legacy.
right.
Like fucking Star Wars and Three Stooges together, like that's bonded by, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So part of me wanted to believe it.
Well, I did have to look up the year that Harrison Ford was born, which is 42.
It took you
And
a while.
I had to look up Shemp. I was like, what was he doing? He wasn't in the Stooges yet, but that's when he had the solo career. So it's like, so that's why I use it as an excuse. He was doing his solo career. He couldn't take care of the kid. He was already older at the time.
Yeah.
And so was the wife. They're both in their 40s. And
Yeah.
then he also had phobias. So, and I said, that's why Shep had phobias. And so I had to put some truths in there.
It's just
So
well done. Well
thank you.
done, my friend.
Yeah, that was one of my well crafted ones.
Shemp appears in uh he appears in a lot of movies outside of the Three Stooges.
Yep.
One, he was a bartender in a W.C. Fields movie.
Mhm.
Um, what's the name of that movie?
I don't
Ah,
know.
crap. Dang it. Anyways, yeah, I love Shemp.
Yep.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite
I
of the
always liked
Stooges?
Larry.
Yeah, I'm a Larry. I'm a
Yeah.
Larry.
Are you?
Just letting everybody
I
know.
mean, there's three things that Larry did in different shorts where he went up in the top cabinet and he pulls down that bowl and the water splashes all over him. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's yelling, "Who put this up there? Who put this up there?" He's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I did it."
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wait, so check this out. Today is garbage day in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
and my wife was out after work. She went to do some grocery shopping. I come home. I put the can. I take the can off the street, put it in the area where our cans go. 15 minutes later, I texted my wife and said, "Thank you for bringing in the trash can." That's
Wow.
why I'm a Larry. Like
Yeah.
I just had forgotten that I did
Yep.
it. Like that's
I've
insane to
done that.
me.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Shemp and Harrison both had solo careers. That was brilliant.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was brilliant, Bobby. Um, oh, so Curly is Vine Jungle Figure
Curly
Factory.
Joe. Yeah.
Curly, yeah.
Well, Curly Joe is another stooge that they brought in later on
Yeah, yeah.
for the
I
movies.
remember him, and they cast him to look like Curly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then next question. Who's your favorite? I think I know what your answer is, but who's your favorite Marx brother?
Oh, it's Groucho, of course. I got
Yeah.
him on my arm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know. I sometimes Chico gets me real like
I
that
love
guy's
them all.
brilliant. Yeah.
I love them all, but Groucho, he has a magic. I mean, they all do, but there's something about him that's just
Yeah.
magic. I mean, on
Yeah.
screen, I mean, I you don't know what they do to me. When I watch a movie, I just smile, and I just feel so good when I'm watching a Marx Brother movie.
It just
You
does something.
know,
There's something
Chico
special
plays the
there.
piano, and he's got the smile, and he looks looking around, smiling. He does the finger things
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just like, and then Harpo, he's just freaking nuts. But
Love
no one
it.
could pull off faces like him and do that
No.
like he does. He's brilliant. And
The
Zeppo, you know,
one of the most brilliant things that Harpo did, the spit bubble smoke bubble.
yeah, yep,
Like what the how did he do that?
yeah.
I
You talk
mean,
from Animal Crackers
yeah.
when he's doing and then he's like the vanilla or the white one, and then Chico goes up, you don't have, or Groucho goes, you don't have chocolate, do you? And he blows out the brown balloon.
Yeah. I mean, just amazing. Oh, here we go. HP. I watch Duck Soup every New Year's Eve. That's a
Oh yeah,
good tradition, my friend.
yeah, it
That's a
is.
great tradition.
The hey nani and the hot cha cha.
Ah, so good. So good. And maybe, today's discussion in the Patreon chat made me kind of want to watch some more want to watch some Three Stooges. I haven't watched any of those shorts in a long
Yeah.
time, but I feel like I got to be in the right mood for Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But even if the truth is, even if I'm not in the right mood, I got to be in the right mood to start
Yeah.
an episode.
Once you get
But
into
even if
it.
I'm not in the right mood and I put it on, it's like instantly I'm into it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Marx Brothers were gods of comedy.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yes, that's right. Duchess. Bank Dick. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Duchess. If any of you have not seen The Bank Dick with W.C. Fields, go watch it. If you want to know why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so successful, it's all because of W.C. Fields. It's accessing that particular part of us that Larry David accesses so well in Curb Your Enthusiasm. But W.C. Fields was doing it first, man.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So back to the Eternia playset. You got one coming. So
Yes, I do.
Tell us your feelings about this massive thing headed your way.
I actually, it's going to piss a lot of people off, but I actually don't care anymore that I'm getting it.
I knew you were going to say that.
I really don't.
Yeah.
My mind is so off of toys now. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's cool that
Yeah.
I'm getting it, and it was one of those. It was one of those. I was caught up in the moment thing when it was out, and I was like, if I, because like I said, I think I ordered it like a day before the end of the thing. I might have. It might have been maybe a week prior. I can't remember, but it was getting close, and I'm like, if I pass up on this, I'm going to be upset if I did, But then, but this brings back to, so I bought it. I bought it, and then I felt good about it. But it's like what I
Good.
was saying prior. You're in that moment. You need to have that. A couple of years from now, do you really think you need it anymore? So now that it's actually coming, now it's like I'm not even excited about having it. So
well, here's my prediction. Here's my prediction for you. I know that's where your head is right now. I can just tell you, and I think you and I are very similar in this way. And I think probably a lot of people are like this. Our interests are cyclical.
Yes, it's true. That is true.
And so, whatever you decide to do with the Eternia playset is your prerogative, obviously.
Yeah.
If you were to hold on to it, part of me really believes strongly that at some point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years from now,
Yeah.
I almost did the Dwight thing from The Office. Hear me out. 6, 7. It would have. I think you'll come around and be excited to have it, and that excitement might dissipate again, just because it does. It's cyclical.
Yeah.
But that's just a theory that I have.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, I've been collecting since 92, 93.
Yeah.
And I've taken breaks for like a year or two in between at certain times, and then I get back into it again. So I'm sure, like you were saying, in a couple of years, maybe I'll probably oh, I'm still glad I have this,
You might.
But I know I did tell my son that I was going to give him all my origins a while back. I told him that. So it's like I'm not gonna go online and sell it or nothing. But I told him he can have all that stuff someday, and he can do whatever he wants with it. But
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's, like I said earlier, I have mixed feelings about it because this massive thing. It's an investment for people. Some people don't have a lot of money to be throwing around like that, and it might, somebody pushing buy on their phone when they do it. It's like they might be sweating bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel for people who are sacrificing to get that. And then and part of me is like, you know, that's a lot of money, Mattel. And toy companies are hungry for cash, and it makes sense. They got to stay afloat
Yep.
to keep doing what they're doing. Um, the other part of me, so it's like it's an unnecessary and frivolous thing. This giant plastic
Yeah. Yep.
thing. But then the other part of me is like, that's art. It's like, I mean, it's corporate art. It's
Yeah.
art made for to be sold. It's like, but at least it's not. At least it's prettier than a. Sorry, I might anger some people. At least it's prettier than a Thomas Kincaid painting, which is a corporate art. It used to be
Yeah.
a corporate art entity. And it's pretty neat to have something that a team, whether they did it by hand or digitally, sculpted it, and then you have
Hmm.
a plastic version of it. That's part of the reason why I love toys so much, because it was made by someone, whether it was they're digitally rendering it or they sculpted it like Four
Yeah.
Horsemen do or did. I don't know if they do digital now or not, but it's still a representation of something made by somebody. And when I saw some, photos and videos of the Eternia playset up close and personal, I was like, yeah, this is a pretty amazing achievement in toy making.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
and it does other things for me, like the little caverns and windows. And
Right.
I mean, that's what I loved about Grayskull was that window. I don't know why. That was like my favorite part of
Mm.
Castle Grayskull was that window and being able to have a figure stand in there and look out.
Look out. Right.
Um, so it's like the Eternia playset has that in spades.
Yep.
So I feel for people. I'm like I could easily live without it, and be perfectly happy.
Yeah.
But I also think like for people who want it. And yeah, I'm if you watch this channel, you know that I have one coming too, but it was part of a trade. The guy who got me the Eternia playset owns my first Snake Mountain, and he also owns the Fright Zone that I made.
Yeah.
And that was part of the agreement. And I have to admit, I'm kind of getting excited to have this thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a isn't it weird? Um, Toys are weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And I bought it too because that's the only one of the only vintage things I do not own. So I
Mhm,
was like, I'll
mhm.
never. If I tried to get a vintage one, it would really cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is the only one I'm going to do that is not vintage to get. So in that aspect, it's pretty cool to have. I mean, it's still cool to have. And the good thing too, it'll never go down, and you didn't lose your money,
Yeah,
if you had to sell it. Yeah,
it'll always, and if you
yeah,
depending on how you treat it, it'll always go
right.
up in value. And
And I was never gonna open it anyway.
yeah,
So
and that's like the ultimate way to recoup that money.
yeah,
Um, and I it's every collector that's watching this right now, or every collector that bought it, they're gonna treat it well. There's a
yes,
very there's hardly anyone that's probably gonna just give it to their kids. There might be like one or two people,
yeah,
but this is kind of a thing that will continue to go up in value.
mhm,
It's an exciting way to invest. It's like again, it's like buying art. It'll
yeah.
hopefully go up in value.
Well, I'm just waiting for the
Um,
day to see those reels on Instagram where you got the guy sitting down there and he's looking at his, pulled out toy, and then the dog comes right through it.
I know.
You know?
You know it's gonna happen. It's
Yeah,
gonna happen. Someone's gonna be shooting a video,
yeah,
and the ceiling fan is gonna crash down on
yeah,
it or
something
something. Yeah.
goofy.
Um, Ace, I don't think I'll ever be making a custom Eternia. Um, because you're right, that would be huge.
Yeah, yeah, your scale, yeah,
My scale is like I don't really talk about this, but my scale is for the figures, but it's also for me. I'm not I have my hands are a little bit shaky and detail work is hard for me.
Yeah.
My lines kind of, you know how Charles Schultz and Peanuts' lines are kind of like they're
Yeah.
never perfect.
Right. Right.
That's kind of like the way I am. So small custom things are difficult for me. And so the size of the play sets makes sense for my hands
But it's
too.
still cool though. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
thank
neat
you.
to have it a bigger size. I think that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. It turns out they're like
If you could
it's the
fit it in
right
your house or something, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Snake Mountain is basically yeah, it's huge. So yeah, Eternia would be amazing to do.
Yeah.
Um and I Ace mentioned earlier like Ace said something about here we go. Let me see if I found it. I'd prefer to spread the money across a bunch of figures that I can that I could store easier. Um, and but if Ace had a bigger house, then there could be
Yeah.
big playsets too. I think one of the benefits of like a big playset like Castle Grayskull, whether you have the classics version or the vintage or origins, is that they store your figures. I
Right.
don't because they can close up Snake Mountain, Grayskull. They close up. You can actually store figures in there, which is kind of great and utilitarian if you're a
Yeah.
collector and you need to store stuff away. But Eternia doesn't have that option. It's not a collapsible thing. You can display one tower or display all three towers, but it doesn't have the fold up capabilities
Right. Right.
that allow it to also be a storage unit for figures.
But I'm the same way too, though. I always was just a figure person, except for Masters. Masters, I have all the play sets, but other than that, I
Yeah,
never got into play sets.
yeah.
Besides, well, I mean, when I was little, I did have the Death Star, but other
Oh
than
yeah,
that,
that's you're very lucky to have been able to play with that. That's so
yeah,
cool. I
yeah, I still
remember
got the little. The only thing I got left is the little green
oh, you do?
trash compactor monster. Yeah.
Oh, that's so I'm so jealous. That is so like the best kind of jealousy. I'm so happy
Oh,
for you.
well,
That's
thank you.
amazing. Um and Hylian says that's why you never make a center of the room toy display.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, essentially Eternia has to be a center of a room toy display. Um Although I was having a conversation with David Motu Origins Cork in a chat, and we were talking about um, ways to display the Eternia playset in a modular fashion or in a fashion that you could move around like a piece of furniture.
Mm.
And so I don't know. I'm thinking about that. That might be a future project. Um,
Like a
so
table you can spin or something.
like a table you can move.
Yeah.
I mean, like a model, like a cart that's also a display with sculptural detail.
Yeah.
Um, all right, Kenzo, we were just talking
Hey.
about you. Ace is going to be reaching out for a Modi, so Kenzo, you can expect that. Good to see you here. And so yeah, I think it's quite an achievement, to be honest with you. In watching the videos, I'm kind of excited. You know, you and I will be talking about this stuff for years to come. You know, whether Toy Frenzy exists or not.
Yeah.
I know Bobby and I have become good friends, so it's like
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see your relationship with this thing adjust over the years.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, like I said, and like you mentioned too, it goes cyclical too. So I'm just at that point where I'm just so burnt out on it
Hmm.
that I'll probably get the fever someday again.
Yeah, the fever comes back, and
Yeah.
if you're a Masters fan and you take a little break, when it comes back hard.
Yeah, it's just got to be something special right now. So
Yeah.
it's but yeah.
Did you end up getting yourself one of the Masterverse trap jaws yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
No,
See, that's
it's my plan to get one
yeah. That's one of
if I can
my
see it.
that's one of the examples of what they're doing right now working really well.
Yeah,
That one and Clawful and Slushhead, pretty amazing figures,
yeah,
amazing achievements as action figures. Like I picked up you guys, if you check out the Instagram, you see I got the battle armor
yes, I saw
He-Man,
that. Yep,
the surfer He-Man, and
yeah.
Point Break He-Man is what people are saying, I think. And I get it. I'm happy I got him, but I wouldn't have spent more than what I spent, which was $10.19
Okay.
on clearance. Um,
Did it come with 2 meatball sandwiches?
no, no, it didn't. It should have.
Well, you said Point Break, so
I know. God, you're good at this, man. You know what I need to? Oh, here for you people you folks out there that have 3D printers, Ronald Reagan rubber mask to go over Point Break He-Man.
yeah,
All right. So no, I mean, it's this is my situation with this figure. I wouldn't have gotten him at regular price because I didn't like his head sculpt.
yeah.
But now that I got him for $10.19, and now I have him on the shelf and I've been looking at him, he's pretty good. It's a pretty good figure. And so it's like it depends on the mood too, with these things.
So it's like a fart. At first, you can't stand it, but after a while, it becomes quite pleasant.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it depends on the type of fart and what you had for dinner. But I don't know, folks. Tell me that this is not one of the coolest things you've ever seen in your
That is
lives.
cool.
This is Toonie Terrors is kind of hitting home runs with these figures. The Vincent Price one is okay, but some of these other ones are really so good. I'm showing these because I'm trying to get Bobby excited about them.
Okay, the Misfits, yeah, the Crimson Ghost.
Right?
Yep.
Isn't the Crimson Ghost beautiful?
Yeah, well, I've always loved the Crimson Ghost. But even
How can you
before the
not?
Misfits,
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it's classic design. I love that face.
The
That
Toonie
skull.
Terrors, sorry, yeah, the skull, that
Yeah,
sculpture of the skull, yeah,
yeah.
the mask.
Hmm.
It's amazing. I think Toonie Terrors has gotten better.
Yeah,
They started off, there was just I was like, but these things have gotten better.
yeah.
All right, so Chef M80 or
Hey,
Chef Matey is here. Great to see you. Who else showed up? Let's see. We got okay. Well, we're all caught up. I think
I
that's the
think
newest.
so. Yeah.
And there's other people that are not in the chat. Hello to you. Thank you for being
Yes.
here.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, and Alf Inflict just showed up.
Hey.
Great to see you. Hey, we understand. If life's crazy, man. We get it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, doing having a YouTube channel or doing shows like this, um, or just being involved in a toy in the toy community or any community, any social media community can be takes a lot of energy and it's a lot of fun. But if your life is like if you're having a busy life or a
Hmm.
difficult period of time in your life, everyone in that community should understand. And if they
That's
don't
true.
understand, that
Their
sucks,
problem.
and that's
It's,
their problem.
yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, we can't do everything, and Bobby, you know, taking breaks here and there it's
Yeah.
necessary.
Yep,
It's
it is.
absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I was supposed to be off tonight.
You
Yeah,
came on just out of the generosity of
my
your heart.
heart. Yep.
Um, which I'm very happy you did,
No,
because otherwise I'd be
no.
awkwardly
Well,
talking to
no,
myself.
I love talking to you anyway, so you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. This is always fun.
Yeah.
So I know that it's not on your priority list of things to be excited about right now,
Okay.
but I'm gonna present this question to everybody in the chat, but also to you, Bobby.
Sure.
If you had to pick one thing about the Eternia playset that is successful visually,
Okay.
there are a lot of successful elements to it. And what I mean
Yeah.
by successful is it does something to you. It makes you excited to look at it or see it or think about it. What would that be? I've got a few things popping up in my head,
Okay.
but looking at that, I'm like, what is the most interesting aspect of it?
I thought two things were cool: the snake and the um, the trap cage base that they
Yeah.
upgraded. Those two parts.
On the gray skull side, the trap
Yes.
cage,
Yep. And then the
and then
snake
the
because it can
striking
move.
snake.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
I mean,
with you.
everybody could say the middle tower. I mean, that's always the iconic piece of it, but that was the two things I was kind of like interested in. You know.
Yeah, and I see why. The striking snake is definitely one of those for me too.
Yeah,
Like
and I
that's
think
very
the cage also can fit the Masterverse figures. I believe it's big.
yeah. According well,
Yeah.
when Mattel posted that video, they showed
Yeah.
us that it fits. I mean, it's pretty tight, but it fits
Hmm.
them. Um, better Vine Jungle Figure Factory, better Grayskull Tower. The original was puny, so that actually reminds me of a thing that I'm kind of excited about is the
The size.
stairwell,
Oh, okay.
the outside
Yeah.
stairs that curve up
Okay.
around the Grayskull Tower. That you can actually have figures standing on that, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's wider stairs. That's very cool. That's kind of what I was hoping they would have done with Snake Mountain. It's right up here. You can't see it, but that's what I was kind of hoping they would do with Snake Mountain,
Hmm.
which they did a little bit, not
Yeah.
enough in my opinion. The gondola is dope. Yes, absolutely. Um, Also, yeah, I mean the monorail thing is pretty darn cool.
Yeah. It is.
Uh, the just to have that going, on this sort of meditative loop,
Hmm.
is really exciting to me.
So you're opening yours, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna open it,
I just want to see
and
your face when you do play that demo thing. I just want to see you like little kid get the smile on here.
it'll
Yeah.
be like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm excited. Here's another thing that's crazy. I'm excited about the way all that plastic is going to smell.
Okay.
That's weird, I know, but certain plastics have a really amazing smell. And Masters figures and the Masters playsets have had great smells so
Yeah.
far. Just the
I don't know
plastic
because
alone.
I haven't opened them. The only ones I've opened a couple figures, but that's it though.
Yeah.
I bought
Um,
a couple doubles.
yeah, it's good. I like the chemical smell of plastic. Um, okay, let's see. The puny stairs is why I rebuilt my Snake Mountain. Yes, and
Mm,
I understand that for sure. Also, everyone should go check out Vine Jungle Figure Factory's Snake Mountain. It's amazing. It is amazing. All right, Kenzo. Eternia is on its way to you.
cool.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Am I going to do a live unboxing like you did for the Mondo Skeletor? I don't think so.
That would be tough.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that's going to work live for me because I'm going to get it open and I don't want to just look at the thing. I want to start putting it together. So I'll
Right.
do like a time lapse photography and like review, like putting it together and then review it. I think is what I'm going to do
Are you to
and
put
talk
together
about it.
like on the floor or something, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I have no idea. Um, and yeah, we'll see. I was thinking about like putting a picnic blanket outside in the
Oh, geez.
backyard and doing it out there or something.
All
That's
of a sudden a
insane.
storm comes through.
It won't be a storm. It'll be an airplane will hit or
Yeah,
something. It'll
right.
be insane.
Bird crap.
Yeah, birds, dogs. It'll
Mm,
rain. Everything will
yeah.
happen. Um,
Baseball. Some kid playing baseball.
totally. I can't. All right, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
But
take it outside.
I'm not going to take it outside. I got to do something. I don't know what I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. We'll see, Ace. The best smelling toy Crusher was a green inflatable monster. So that must have been that smell of that inflatable vinyl
Yeah,
from the 80s, amazing stuff. Those inflatable punching clowns
yeah.
or characters, the smell of that, amazing. I mean, that's borderline gasoline reek. The vinyl inflatable smell.
Oh man,
Love it. I love it.
gasoline leak.
This is the next episode of Toy Frenzy is going to be plastic huffing.
There you go. Oh God.
No, bad. Let's see. The inflatable blimp. Yeah, the turtle blimp. Yeah, that would have the same smell, I'm sure, because
Yeah,
it was
probably.
that same material. Beach ball material, essentially.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Great. Yeah, love it. But that Mondo Skeletor behind me, as I talked about in my live unboxing of that, it's like that's got a good plastic smell to
Hmm.
it too. I'm sure your trap jaw does too.
Yeah, I've never smelled it, but Cabbage Patch
Yes,
Dolls.
you have. What?
Cabbage Patch Dolls. The
Did they have a?
heads. Yeah,
Oh
my
yeah,
sister
yeah,
had a bald one. And you can smell it had a smell to it.
yeah.
Strong smell to it.
So that's what you're gonna do tonight after our shows. You got to go smell trap jaw. Just send me a message and say it's pretty good.
Sure. I'll give it a
Ace,
whiff.
give it a whiff.
Yeah. I
Um,
did lose my sense of smell for many years.
you did?
Yeah. I had to have surgery on my sinuses, yeah. I finally got it back.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Um,
Allergies
so
did it. And
it must.
I had a deviated septum. I guess it was broken when I was young and it closed off half my
I had the same
sinuses.
problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you know that
Mhm.
I had the same issue?
No, no.
Did we talk about it?
Nope.
Yeah, I had to have that. I had to have that fixed. Something happened when I was a kid too, and I
Yeah.
had to have it fixed. It was I couldn't breathe out of one of my nostrils
Yeah,
for
same here.
like most of my life. I
Yeah,
didn't
same
even
here.
know
Yeah, you
what it
got
was
used to it.
like.
But the older I got, men's noses grow bigger and when they get older,
Hmm.
so it just started to really get
Yeah.
to me. But I could
Yep.
never smell it. I always thought it was just, I didn't know what it was. And then I finally got it fixed and I opened up a bag of Cocoa Puffs and it was
Oh,
like, oh my God, I could smell this. So
yeah.
it was nice.
And you must have had a memory of the smell of Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
so,
Well, where I lived, the on the
oh,
east
the
side of
factory.
Chicago, the factory was like a
Yeah,
mile away. So
that's right.
during the summer you could smell the Cocoa Puffs. So yeah, Cocoa
Yeah,
Puffs. I
it
think that's
was,
why I'm addicted to chocolate.
I don't
Uh,
blame you.
I have a problem with chocolate.
Well, and Cocoa Puffs, well, chocolate's one thing,
Yeah.
but I know you'll agree with me as a lover of chocolate. Chocolate's
Yeah.
one thing, but in the varietals of chocolate,
Yes.
right, are all separate categories. But Cocoa Puffs is a whole other chocolate
Oh, of
experience.
course. Yeah. Well, it's the chocolate and it's the crunchiness and it rubs the top of your mouth.
And it's a different
Right.
chocolate smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost there's like a almost burnt quality to
Yeah.
it. It's magical.
It
It's
is.
magical. Ace is saying, let's see, I have a deviated septum too.
Yep.
Wow,
It's
this
very
is
common, but
yeah.
yeah. But mine was
Um,
broken. It was bent, like real bad. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was, you're talking about Ace trying with the breathe right strip.
Yeah.
I will say that getting, and I know Bobby just talked about it. Same thing happened for me. It was revelatory being
Yeah.
able to smell normal and
Yep.
breathe normal. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. The only smells I
Um,
was able to smell were like real bad smells. And I was like, what kind of curse is this? You know?
yeah, right. You can only
It's
smell farts.
yeah, or
Uh,
some bad I'm sorry, I'm hitting a even like when you go go shopping and you open up candles, I couldn't even smell them and I had them right in my face, you
yeah,
know?
that's frustrating. That's
Yeah.
frustrating.
But then I could smell
I've
someone's ass, it's like, what does this kid mean?
Someone
You know?
sits down next to you on the bus, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the smell of ass and death. It's so
Yeah.
awful.
You smell
Um,
like dead mice.
and yeah, I mean, it's true. Girls' toys did have great smells. Strawberry shortcake smell.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah, my
amazing
sister had a bunch
smell.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, my cousins had them, and man, what a cool smell. And what's the deal with that? Like, why couldn't we get Stinkor Mattel? Why couldn't you give us a stinky Stinkor?
Right.
I mean, they're doing short strawberry shortcakes toys now. Like,
Yeah, and I believe they smell.
you can. I held
Yeah.
the box up like this. I smelled it, and I can smell the
Oh,
strawberry.
you bought a blueberry muffin?
Yeah, I have a whole room dedicated to
Oh,
blueberry
okay.
muffin.
Oh, I see.
Blueberry muffin's my my character. A whole
I'm
room.
sure.
I've got a Stinkor room and a blueberry muffin room.
And blueberry muffin and apricot. That's your favorites, right?
That's right. Bobby, what am I do with you?
I don't know.
Um, oh no, it's 5 a.m. for Seb and Baloo. All right. Well, good night. Great to
See
have
ya.
you here.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way from France.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We'll see you next Thursday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, Either that or Seb and Baloo's like, they're just talking about smells. That's not what I tuned in for.
I know. This show stinks.
It's well, that's okay. So one of the things I'm most excited about, yeah, the
Yeah.
stairwell, putting figures on the stairwell.
Boy, we went off on a tangent
I
there.
know we
Nice.
did the striking snake,
Yeah.
but the tangent was based on this. I'm very
Yeah, it was.
excited to have that smell, that
Yep.
new plastic toy smell, just be enormous
Yeah.
in the room. And so Ronald is saying, "Y'all make me want some Cocoa Puffs.
Damn straight.
Go
Good
get
shit.
them. Go
Yeah.
get them. You
See
can,
that?
we won't feel bad if you leave this live stream just to get Cocoa Puffs. That is a good reason to go.
That's right.
But don't, Ronald, don't go.
Yeah. Please stay.
Please stay. Sorry, what were you saying, Bobby? I feel like I interrupted you.
Oh no, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I messed it up.
That's right.
Pog Craze had a grape scented slammer. Chef M80, I was just talking to somebody about the Pog Craze. That was insane. If you lived through the Pog Craze, I mean, it was like it was my little brother's era of stuff, and he got into it for a little bit, and I was like, what is the deal with this? But I get it. It's like this tactile thing, and it's like it mixes plastic toy collecting with the game attached to Pogs.
Mm.
I didn't quite understand it, but you're also trading it like trading cards. It's like Garbage Pail Kids, but it's these plastic circles. And man, I'm interested. I'd like to see a documentary on Pogs and the Pog craze.
I don't even know what that is.
There are like little collectible discs,
Okay.
and you could like slam them. And honestly, I'm not the right person to talk about it,
Yeah.
but I just remember it was kind of a big thing in the mid to late 90s.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. The pog craze. Kenzo is saying, I bought some patchouli to mix into the paint for Stinkor Custom.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah. When I was painting those Motu Misfits, every time I do a Stinkor, I would dip the brush in some patchouli oil and soak the wood, because I was painting them on wood panels, soak the wood in the patchouli. I had one guy get one from me, and he said he had to put it out. He had to leave it in the garage because his partner complained about it.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what it's all about. So what else, folks? What are you? If you've got an Eternia playset coming, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put this thing? Do you have a room set aside? Do you have a walk-in closet that's going to be your Eternia playset room? What are you going to do? Where are you going to put this? Are you going to leave it boxed up? Are you going to put it up on your wall? And that could be really cool, like a wall hanging, like a wall.
Oh.
A shelf.
I could see accidents happening like that.
I could too. I just thought of that too.
People banging their heads off the corners.
Yeah, and plus, like, if you take it out of the box and you do the same thing, you want to get behind it. So what's your plan for the playability of this thing? You can't just have it in your dining room on your dining room table and just for everybody to
do
see.
you have a basement?
No, I wish.
Yeah,
man.
See, I know a lot of like East Coast and Midwest have basements and stuff, so that's a good opportunity to put it there.
Yeah, like Sean has a pretty cool basement.
Yeah.
Matt Dooch of Legends of Grayskull, he has a cool basement too.
Yeah.
And basements are perfect for toy rooms because out of sight, out of mind for everybody else in the house.
Right.
I was thinking about like building a shed or something, toy shed, like a studio, like a small little place to make things and to have some of this stuff. But I mean, you get a play set this size, it's going to change some things in your household.
So since you're in California, if you do build a shed, do you have to pay tax on all that then?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it that deeply.
Because I know you guys get taxed on a lot of different things.
We get taxed on everything, Bobby.
I know. That's
everything.
What I mean.
It's insane.
Are you going to get taxed on just bringing an attorney into your house?
Yeah, I probably. The city that I live in, someone's going to show up and say, I saw that package show up. It's like the guy from Popeye the movie. It's going to be like, oh, Eternia playset tax. He's going to ride up on a bicycle. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking
account where that guy, he constantly shows off that HOA guy that comes up to his house all the time.
No.
The guy's like an asshole. He's like a younger guy too, and he's like the police of the neighborhood, and he keeps going up to this guy. And I think this guy does this shit on purpose. Like he left, like the one I saw today, he left a box, like it was delivered box from Amazon, and the guy's like, he comes up, he's like, you're really pissing me off now. He's like, this box has been sitting here all day on your porch, and I've known you've been outside, and you came because I could see you. I live right down the street, and I'm like, and so he gave him a fine for that.
What?
Yeah, this guy's nuts. Yeah, him and his wife. Then his wife one time came up and said that they should move because the kids were supposed to wear this uniform to school, but they're wearing some Walmart shit, and they're not allowed to do that. Yeah, they're like really. HOA people.
Don't they have anything else to do? Like
obviously
in their
not.
Lives?
They're like. And they're not making any money off that. It's the HOA company. Why would you want to do that for them?
That makes no sense to me.
No,
there must be drugs involved. There's got to be drugs. What makes people what pushes people to that place?
Because they're crazy.
Yeah. Joe, time for the kids to go. Yeah, I mean, most of us are of the age where your kids might be moving out,
Yeah, right.
Or going to college or whatever they're doing, and
or you kick them out, and say, "Well, attorney is here. I gave you that timeline. It's here now." So
I don't know. All I know is that even this little, you can't really see it from from where you all are, but
Right.
this is kind of like a little corner in our front room,
Yeah.
and even that's like, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot for my family. And so basements or outside areas or converted garages um, are perfect for people like us, I guess. Um, but yeah, look, Alf is like, where indeed? I don't know. I got to do some major rearranging to squeeze in Eternia along with all my vintage and Ordson's play sets and the classic
Yep.
Snake Mountain and no play set left
Classic Snake
behind.
Mountain. Wow. Classic Snake Mountain's huge.
I mean, if you have classics, let's think about this. If you have classic Snake Mountain, you have Castle Classics Grayskull,
Right.
and you have Eternia playset, that's a bedroom, folks.
Yes.
That is a bedroom because none of those playsets can just be put against a wall.
Hmm.
You have to have some. There has to be some three dimensionality with the display of it. You got to walk around them in some capacity. So you got to have three tables. Um,
I would
it's
still keep the
crazy.
Snake Mountain if I had one up compared to the Eternia.
Oh, I think yes, amen to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Snake Mountain is a masterpiece of a
Yeah, it
playset.
is.
It should have won like the Academy Awards of
Yeah.
playsets.
Yeah. I remember
It's
when I saw one up close, it was at a toy shop and they had the vintage next to it. And I'm like, oh my God, that thing is huge.
yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
Um, Commenting on Ace's thing here, yeah, Skelly. So yes, if you so Ace, you live down south. I've lived down there too. Trust me, living in this area of California is much more affordable, and you can, So, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for thinking about that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, with all those places, you could rent them out as a luxury living compound in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, man, the possibilities. Oh, that gets me thinking about Eternia Land again. There's a guy down south. I think he's outside of Anaheim, but he's near Anaheim where Disneyland is. And he built a Disneyland in his backyard.
Okay.
But it's miniaturized. It's like you can look it up. Backyard Disneyland. You'll probably find a bunch of weird things, and then you'll find that video. But like the YouTube channel Random Land, they visited it. Few other YouTube channels have visited it. And this guy is like he makes miniatures. It's sort of like started off as like enjoying making model trains and those landscapes, those dioramas. And then he basically built a Disneyland that you can tour in his backyard. That he actually people can pay admission to come like tour his backyard Disneyland, and it's pretty neat. Like for people who make things, if you've got a yard, you could be doing. I mean, you don't want to put your play sets out there, but you could
Right.
like start messing around with materials like concrete or fiberglass or plaster, and make things for out there instead of buying play sets for the inside of your house. And you could just keep your figures inside the house and take them out to play every once in a while. Um, so yeah, are people answering the question? Where are they putting? Oh yeah, Eldor. Of course, Eldor's always thinking creatively about these
Yep.
things. I'm looking into getting a turntable for my Snake Mountain playset. Yeah. So you can buy. Just so I'm sure you know this already, Eldor, because you look into these things a lot. But you can buy. They're the what are they called here? Lazy Susans for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
for the dining room table.
Yep.
There you can buy the insert for this. It's basically ball bearings between two pieces of aluminum and or stainless steel, depending on the kind that you get. But I bought one for my gray skull that I built. It's about 20 inches wide. 20 inches across. And it was
Diameter.
only about $20. So you can order those. Then you don't have to deal with, like, if you're going to buy a turntable or a Lazy Susan, it's already got a wood platform. It already
Hmm.
has, you can just build the kind of platform you want, Eldor, and then just get that little mechanism. Why am I blanking out on what it's called? Anyways, yeah, they're there. They're out there. Amazon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mine is mounted on a piece of plywood, then a 30-inch Lazy Susan under that. Yes, there you go. There you go. That's exactly it. Precisely. So the Lazy Susan is a great idea, but Lazy Susans are, so bulky. So just
Yeah.
buy the inside part of the Lazy Susan that makes it turn. I met a guy who built his own R2D2, and he did the same thing for the spinning head. He just bought the insert for a Lazy Susan that matched the measurement, and did that. So for those of you that do have Eternia Playsets coming your way, let us know what you're going to do. Did I see Vine's comment about the barn? Let me go back and see. Let's see. I think Vine Jungle Figure Factory is, I believe he's in Texas, I think. I might be wrong. But let's see. All right, maybe this is it. I'm having a building built at my haunt for the Dark Side Express, 20 by 40. Is that the barn you're talking about, Ace? I'm trying to look back on other things. But I mean, you can, I don't know. It's an investment to build these things for something as crazy as toys.
Yeah.
But Eternia is big.
That is. It is big.
Farther
I just
back.
remember when they showed it off on that video. Not that that one premiere they had when they were doing the question and answer period, and there was showing that was like the first time I seen like an actual people standing next to it, and it's like, wow, that is huge.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, I'm just I'm of the mind that I'm almost more interested in seeing where people put these things than I am seeing the toy itself. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, Vine Jungle Figure Factory is saying it'd be a barn type building.
Yeah.
That's cool. Joe lives on a farm in Nevada.
Oh.
But the barn is too far from the house. Wait a minute. Okay, so we're talking about a serious farm. What
Yeah,
is
right.
too far, Joe? Because that's kind of amazing if you have that kind of land
Yeah, right.
to play around with. That gets me. I'm stoked about something like that. The possibilities are endless. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool, Joe. I'm anxious to see. All right, Joe, you gotta show us. You gotta take over that barn, my friend. And show us. Get creative with it. So Vine Jungle Figure Factory is making a whole Dark Side of Eternia playset. So that's what the barn. He's talking about building a shed or a barn outside, out in the yard or out in the backyard, on his property, to build a Dark Side of Eternia playset.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's very cool. And it's folks like him. You've got a YouTube channel. You've got the facilities. You've got the means. I just gobble that up. I love seeing people make stuff and be creative with their home spaces. That's why I
That gives
like
you ideas. Yeah.
it does. It gives me
Mhm.
ideas, and then it becomes a relationship between people who are into making stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so it'll be a haunted house as a tax write-off, great, and it'll also be a walk-through display. That's
Huh.
brilliant. I love it. That's great. So that's kind of the idea, that guy in down south that has the backyard Disneyland.
Yep.
It's probably a tax write-off for him too. It's a walkthrough. People visit. Um, I don't know how that works. That's
Have
kind
to
of
look that up.
cool. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Or just, these people, these folks that make stuff like Vine Jungle Figure Factory, and it's like he's right here talking to us. You and I are going to be having a conversation
Pretty soon,
about
Skelly's
how
gonna have
you do that.
McDonald lands in his
I'm
backyard.
gonna have McDonald Land Eternia in my
There you go.
McDonald Land Disney Eternia.
Yep.
It'll basically just be, the Officer Big Mac climb up jail,
Yeah.
and the Matterhorn
Hmm.
and Castle Grayskull.
There you go.
Thank you very much. That's nice. That's nice to hear. When people do amazing things and they're like, "You're doing good stuff too," I'm like, "Really? Thank you."
Well,
Um,
you always think your stuff's not as good, or whatever.
I think that's the plight of the creative, I guess, huh?
Yeah, you're hard on yourself.
I'm what?
No, I'm saying people are hard on themselves. When they
Yes, I
create something
agree.
or they paint or draw, they're like, "Oh, this ain't gonna be that good. No one's gonna like that." But then everybody looks at it and says, "Oh, this is brilliant." You
It's
know.
so true. We are
Yeah.
always our toughest critic,
Yeah.
and that's good as long as you don't stop.
Yeah.
It's good to be a critic of your own work, but just don't let it stop you.
Yeah.
So Joe has 160 acres in Nevada, folks.
Wow.
So we were talking about Frenzy Fest happening in Fargo Frenzy Fest.
Yeah.
I think we should do it in Nevada.
In Fargo. Oh,
The
shoot.
Fargo Frenzy Fest. It's only because it was the center of the
I
United
know. I
States,
know. I
right?
know. I've been to
But
Fargo, so
still,
it's yeah.
yeah, there's not a lot there.
No.
So maybe it has to be in Nevada. That'd be easier for some of us,
For me.
me
Yeah.
included. Um,
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's just leave it out this way.
all right, Joe. All right, Joe. We'll start planning. Okay, we're inviting ourselves. That's
Yeah.
awful.
We'll use this barn.
Yes, and Nevada has no state tax either. That's true. All right. Toy Frenzy Nevada 160 Acre Fest is around the corner.
That's right.
Yeah, Ace, the latest season of Fargo is amazing.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
Amazing. Holy shit, that's
That first
so
season
good.
was really, really good. The second one
It's
was good too, but the first
yeah.
season, that scene, I hope this doesn't ruin it for people that haven't seen it, but that scene where he's sitting in the car and he sent his girlfriend in to the
Oh,
place to go get what it was like
yeah.
missing something. I forgot what it was. It's been a while, but he sent her in to go get it, not him, because he had a feeling that that guy was there.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What a weasel! I mean, my God,
Oh,
that pissed me off.
you got to watch the most recent season. I
Yeah. Oh,
mean, it
I
is
have it saved. Yeah, because I got that
it
Hulu. I got Hulu for $1 a month for 12 months. I got
right
that deal.
on,
Yeah.
brother. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
Is
It's
it?
real good. My wife and I made the mistake of starting to watch it on time.
Oh, okay.
So the wait
Yeah.
between episodes was hard.
Well,
It was really
that's like
difficult.
watching Breaking Bad. Saul, Better Call Saul. That last season. That was tough.
Oh,
That was tough to wait for each episode.
oh, it was so hard.
My
It was so
God, that
difficult.
was yeah. I
I
mean, I
mean,
could you. I mean, watching TV is watching TV, but when you're sitting on the edge of your seat and your heart's pumping because you're
listen,
scared of what's going to happen next. I mean, that Lalo guy, man, that dude just holy crap. What a
so good.
what an
Yeah.
what an awesome character. What a piece of shit for one. But what
Yeah,
an
yeah.
awesome character.
Yeah.
And I mean, just cold,
Yeah.
smiling at you, and he's all that. He's got that
Yep.
personality, but he's just when you see him change, and he's just that killer. It's just like, holy
Yeah, it's
shit.
it's amazing
Phew,
acting. Another
that
person that Ace is mentioning, this guy with the bowl cut
yeah.
the bowl cut in Fargo.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Is it over now?
So
Are
yeah,
all
it's
the
done.
episodes?
It's
Yeah.
done. You can just watch it all the way
Okay.
through now,
Yeah, I'll have to
and
check it out.
it is a ride.
They got a
The
couple
kid,
crappy seasons, but yeah.
yeah, but they're always entertaining.
Yeah.
But this season was a masterpiece. Yeah. Um, so let's bring it back to Eternia Playset. How do we do that? What else can we say about it? What else can we say about it?
I don't know. People have talked about it to death, you know.
I know everyone's talking about it. We wanted to talk about it because we love Masters, in our own ways,
Yeah.
and we appreciate what it represents. And I I think the Eternia playset is a difficult territory for me because I didn't have it as a kid. I
Me
was
neither.
It came out after I was already sort of getting out of pulling away from Masters,
Hmm.
and so I never really, it wasn't like, oh wow, that's something that's blowing my mind. Like
Right.
it's cool and it's beautiful, but it just doesn't. I don't have the okay. I'm just gonna say it. I don't have the nostalgia pull to it,
Right. Yeah, I don't either.
but it does all the. It does. It's beautiful, and I appreciate that people have that. Like some people have the nostalgic pull to it. I think it was Ryan Dole that was on here, and he was saying he had one of those when he was a kid,
Hmm.
and so it's very nostalgic for him. Um, but with all that being said, I can't help but admire the artistry and
Yeah.
the playability of the thing, and it helped for me, at least. It helped that it was a character in Revelation and Revolution, as heaven, as Preternia,
Yeah.
like, kind of was made it interesting to me, gave it a different. As a kid, I think I saw it in a catalog, in a Sears catalog or something, as a when it first came out as a younger kid, as a kid, and I think I was like, that's not Eternia. Um, that was my feeling. Like, it didn't
Right.
look like Eternia to me. It looked like an invention based on elements that we were already familiar with in Eternia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I like what Revolution did with Eternia as a play set and as a place, as Preternia. But man, I can't help but feel some excitement looking at pictures of this thing online and seeing people play with it and seeing that monorail go and seeing that snake strike, and
Yeah.
um, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my closest thing I'll get to a vintage one, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I like I said, I have everything vintage, but I just don't want to go down and to get that because I'm too much of it has to be perfect, and I'm not going to find a
Well,
perfect Eternia.
yeah, I think if you watch, people like Pixel Dan, for example, has been like this long journey of him piecing
Piecing it,
his
yeah,
piecing his together, and that's like serious money.
it is.
Um,
Yeah, it's
and
cheaper if you could get one together compared to buying piece by piece. No matter
yeah,
what it is, a figure. If it's missing
yeah,
like a weapon or something, it's still cheaper to look for a complete figure than it is to buy a separate weapon.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
for sure, for
because you
sure.
could get that figure at $60 with all of it, or you could get the
Yep.
figure like $50, but then you're spending $30 on that weapon, so you're spending $20 extra.
That is exactly my dilemma with my vintage trap jaw. I
Oh, you still don't have all the weapons?
I don't have any of the attachments right now.
Oh
He has
wow.
an Origins hook.
Okay.
He has the Origins hook. It fits pretty good in there, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, I spent, I got the figure. It was very reasonable, but he didn't have anything, and I
Mm.
got the belt for $15, and then
Okay.
but I haven't. It's hard to find those weapon pieces. It's really hard to find them. You buy one, it's like $20.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's what I
it
said.
might as
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I might as well just buy a whole new figure for 60.
Well, maybe you'll get one in the mail someday.
Maybe. All right, let's check to see what's going on here. Yes, John Hamm is amazing. Yeah, in Fargo, he's phenomenal.
I like him in Tag.
Tag.
You ever see that movie?
No.
Oh my god, you got to see it. It's funny.
Oh, Tag. It's like a game. It's like like these adults playing this
Yeah,
game, but
yeah.
it gets brutal or something.
Well, no, yeah, they've been playing it since they were kids.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
I mean, John Hamm. You know what is that show? Mad Men. I mean, it's a good show. And
Yeah.
John Hamm has some serious acting chops, and he's hilarious too. Like he's got
I've never
good
seen
comedic
that
chops.
show.
I still really hesitant to watch him in the Fletch remake.
I'm not a big fan on remakes of stuff like that.
I'm okay with a remake as long as they do something that's not just a remake. You know,
Right.
that like be creative with it. So I don't know. Maybe it's good, but I just have a hard time. There's not really.
I think they announced like years ago that they're going to do like a Revenge of the Nerds remake. I was like, why? The movie's perfect.
The movie
Why?
is perfect.
Yeah, why would you remake that?
Also, I rewatched. Did I tell you I rewatched it not too long ago?
No, no.
I know you're a huge fan. I rewatched
Yeah,
it not too long ago, and there are some things that are uh, not cool by today's standards,
oh,
right?
of course. Yeah,
There's some generalizations, but at the end, I forgot about this because it had been years since I'd seen it. At the end, all those generalizations are redeemed. The end
yeah,
message in
yep,
Revenge of the Nerds is fucking phenomenal.
yes,
And so it makes me think that that movie is really, a masterpiece. I've always
it
loved
is.
it, but when I
Yeah, me too.
watched it again, like was it a year ago or something, I was
Yeah,
like, man, this movie's good. I don't know why
yeah,
I
it
have
is.
John Hamm still up here, but we're going to go on and see. All right, Kenzo's talking about Mask. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mask is on its way.
I do own all the figures. I don't own all of the vehicles. I have 2 vehicles still, but I do have all the little figures. But
Yeah,
Mask is
that's
awesome. I love
Mask
Mask.
is awesome. I never had any of those as a kid for some
No.
reason. I just
Yeah, I had
it
2
didn't.
as a kid, or 3 as a kid, but
Yeah,
being a collector, I've been buying just the figures forever, but
yeah,
I got them all.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Vine Jungle Figure Factory is asking, what was that toy line with the zip lines?
Well, Joe says it's Skylander or Sky
Oh
Commanders.
yeah, that's right. Sky
Yeah.
Commanders. That's right. That's it. Thank you, Joe. Where did I see Sky Commanders recently? I saw something online.
Right here.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's what it was. That's right. You showed
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
showed that on your Instagram.
Yeah, probably. I'm a cartoon nut. I can't help myself.
Well, it's a good thing to be excited about. I love
Yeah.
cartoons. Love cartoons. Um. So yeah, yeah. Um. I'm gonna share some things here. All right. So
Uh-oh.
I want people to help me out with this a little bit. I stole
Skelly's
some.
Share Corner.
I,
Welcome to Skelly's Share Corner. Listen to what he
speaking
has
of,
to say.
that's right. Speaking of play sets, so I stole some pictures from online of
Uh-oh. We're not gonna
the
get shut
bone.
down, are we? Like,
No, no. This one's from the Power and Honor Foundation.
okay. Oh,
It
they
even
can't
says
do
Power and Honor Foundation.
that.
Love them. Look, I got the little book down here. Power and
Yeah.
Honor Foundation. Um, but the Bone Throne. Okay.
Yeah.
I am really excited about making this for the person who commissioned Snake Mountain, but I'm also terrified, folks. I'm terrified. But that kind of terror gets me really excited.
Cool.
And there's that. The table here, the table
Yeah.
from the cartoon.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure this is the classics Snake Mountain table. I think that came with the Super 7 playset.
Yeah.
And
Did you
I'm
print
gonna
those off
start.
at work with the color printer?
No. Well, I printed it out. I printed it out here, but my wife's
Oh,
going to
okay.
be frustrated. You're not, when I print with the color, it's like those cartridges are so expensive.
I know. That's why I said I thought maybe you did it at work. Like, oh, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna print these out while I'm at work.
We actually, I'm going to advertise a little bit for HP right now, but they have a thing. Like if you're in education, like we are, we print
Yeah.
stuff all the time at home, and we need to. HP, you can do like a monthly subscription,
Okay.
and you get you pay a certain amount every month. I think we pay like $10 a month or
Oh,
something.
that's not bad.
And when you run out of ink, you get a new batch of ink shipped to you.
Oh, wow.
And you set up the certain minimum of prints that you do every month, and as long as you don't go over that, you just paying that base amount. Anyways, pretty good deal. But yeah, nobody was asking for that. I felt like I had to provide an explanation as to why I'm printing color things at home. But
That's right. I'll keep my mouth shut.
that's okay. So I bought a ping pong ball.
Oh, cool.
I bought a ping pong ball for the orb, and I bought a bag of bones.
I
I
saw
don't
that
know.
on
What was that?
No, I said I saw that on your video, the bag of bones.
Yeah. The bag of bones. I don't know. I feel like a kid in the candy store about to, it's like anything is possible. I could get a bunch of candy and get and crash from the sugar rush, or I could find the one perfect piece of candy and just feel fantastic. I don't know. Like, I'm really nervous about building this bone throne and this table. So I just thought I would share that with everybody.
Sure.
Since we're talking about play sets. So another question for folks is like, what would you add to the Eternia playset? What did it not come with? What do you want to see? What did you want to see in the playset? Was it
The
Kevlar? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I wasn't too attached to Kevlar, but I know other people were.
I think they should have thrown it in there. I mean, with the amount of money that you spent on this thing, but it is what it is with that, though.
I agree. Just throw in Kevlar, Mattel.
I mean, they changed it for the other fans with the King Grayskull. Why not just throw in Kevlar too at the end?
Yeah. Vine Jungle Figure Factory. I have been thinking about epoxy sculpt. I've never used it. I haven't used it yet. But I might try that with the bone throne and the table. I've watched a lot of videos of folks using epoxy. So I might enter into that territory. Kenzo, 10 more modis, right? I think.
How many modis does he have, though?
I mean, I think Kenzo probably has more modis than anybody.
Yeah.
In fact, Kenzo, you might want to look into Guinness Book of World Records territory, because if you're making modis and you have a lot of modis around, you may not think that it's above and beyond, but because Modi is a fairly new character as far as figures go, you might have more than anybody. So you might want to look into that. Your Modi problem might earn you a place in the Guinness Book of World Records.
You should put it like around your house, get like glue boards or something, make it look like dead mice or something all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, I got a Modi problem.
Mousetraps.
Do
Yeah.
like a Masters commercial, and you got Modi stuck on glue boards or in mouse traps and stuff. That'd be funny.
Exactly. Oh, so speaking of commercials, have you all seen the Orbits commercial that just launched?
No,
Did you see it? I posted it, Bobby. I posted the link, but go back and watch it. It's
where'd you post the link at?
well, at like 5 o'clock this morning, when
Oh,
I was getting
jeez.
ready for work, I posted it in the Patreon link and I don't think I posted it in the hosts link, in the hosts dialogue, but the Patreon dialogue I did.
Okay, I'll have to scroll back and look at that.
You don't have to. I'll just send it to you again. But
Okay.
there's a Orbitz commercial that's employs stop motion techniques. Although some of it looks just like puppetry, which is cool too. But it's using the vintage figures. It's vintage He-Man and like 50 vintage Skeletors.
Oh, I think I did see you post it. I just didn't click on it. Yeah.
Yeah, click on it. Click
It's like
on
what I
that
needed to
baby.
watch this crap for.
It's really good. You owe it to me after telling me about Shemp and Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
But it's an amazing commercial.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I'm predicting it might be like a Super Bowl
It could be. Yeah.
commercial
Yeah.
that leaked.
Oh yeah.
Um and Ace air dry clay. I love a air dry clay, but you have to get the right kind. Some of it's just cheap. If you're trying to save money on air dry clay, you'll notice that it's cheap. So go with DOS, the company DOS. It's kind of pricey, like $16 for 2 pounds, but it's really good. Yeah. Um, so sorry you hate it, but you probably got the wrong kind. But yeah, that commercial is awesome. It made me feel appreciated. When companies like tap into something that's niche
Yeah.
that I'm into, I feel flattered. Thank you, Orbits, for doing that.
I know it's silence. I have nothing to say
Um,
about it. That's why I don't know. I didn't see it.
because you haven't watched it yet. You
Yeah.
got to go watch that thing.
We just dropped two people watching it after that snooze.
I know they left like that. They
Yeah.
they
Right.
they were asleep. I was asleep. They were
Yeah.
asleep, and they're like, forget it.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, Ace. Uh, um. Go back and watch a couple of I used a lot of air dry clay on the Fright Zone build because I made the dragon, the beast monster or whatever we call it, is pretty much, aside from the styrofoam core, he's pretty much all of his details are air dry clay. There's a lot of that, a lot of information in those videos. But yeah, I love talking materials, folks. If you're friends with me on Instagram, if you have questions about materials, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, those are pretty much the only social platforms besides YouTube. But you can always ask questions. You can even ask questions in the comments section on my videos too, and I'll answer those questions as well. But yeah, I love talking materials. I love talking techniques, and yeah. I was like, what else do I love?
You always do that. Yeah.
I know. It's my brain. I like I get the fuel empties the tank real quick,
Yeah.
and then I don't know what to say, and so I just give
And
up.
sometimes you're probably like me, where you're trying to think of something, you're saying it, and then you start thinking about something else while you're talking, and then you're just like, "What?"
Yeah, that's very real.
Yeah, you
That is very
confuse
real.
yourself. You know.
That's very real.
It's like,
Well,
boy, I'm really thirsty, but then you end up in the bathroom for some reason. You know, you're like,
what was I in here for?
yeah, right. Oh, I
Why
needed to
am
go
I
to the
holding why am I holding the garbage can? Like, what was I what am I doing? Yeah,
this means
exactly.
something.
This means something exactly. Um yeah, yeah, so this is good, so for folks that are watching this, you're in the right place if you like to make stuff because we talk
Yeah,
about this stuff and we're obsessed with um the act of creating stuff. Yeah, Ace, this has is this Skeletor.
mm,
Does your beanie also not work if you try to reverse it to show the Skeletor face? I can show it, but I've got this really weird lump of a large patch. I mean, I would prefer to have the Skeletor face showing, honestly. Um, but I mean, I don't know. Is this what you're talking about? Because it works, but it's just
yeah,
not
probably.
comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. Um, And Eldor, of course, agreeing. Yeah, yeah. Eldor's one of our. He's been watching the show from the beginning, I think, and he's a creative,
Way back in the old
massively
days.
back in the olden days.
I
Eldor's
can't
a
believe we've been
massive.
on for like a year and a half already, right?
Yeah, year and a half we've been doing this. Um,
Well, I've
Goodness
been on a
gracious.
year and a half. So October.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
almost a
wow.
year and a half. Yeah, a year and 4 months.
So
16
Oz and I
months
have been doing it for,
since July.
wow. It'll be 2 years in
Basically
July.
August. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Um, Yeah. Well, it's fun,
Yeah.
We're it's fun and if it's not fun, we'll just stop. If it
Yeah,
ever
right.
becomes if it ever becomes a tedious activity for us, we'll just be
Yep.
like, sorry, friends.
Cut the
We'll
cord.
see you. We'll cut the cord, but we'll see you in some other capacity.
Yep. Lights out.
Um, Lights out. It should always be about the joy, folks.
Yes.
Joy as an act of resistance, right?
So what
Don't just
so
do.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was to say once we hit the episode 100, then we'll figure out what we're
That's
gonna do.
it. That's it. That's the finale.
Yeah.
I promise you, the finale of Toy Frenzy will be just as excruciating as the finale of Seinfeld.
Oh man.
It'll have that cutoff, but it'll happen at the worst possible time. The famous Oz cutoff.
Yeah.
It'll happen at the hour and a half marker instead of the 2.5 hour marker.
Yeah. Right.
Um, Vine Jungle Figure Factory. I just started getting free time last year, and his home shop's cleared up. So, man, that is great. I love how everybody has a different experience with all this stuff. Like you're either doing it, like for me, I'm doing it on the weekends. It's
Hmm.
like it's the most I can do,
Yeah.
um, making stuff on the weekends, and then but some people who can do it on a fairly regular basis, I love you for it. I love you for it. I try to not be jealous, but I mostly love you for it because it's so much fun to watch you. um if you guys ever get sick of it, just pass the torch to some other peeps and then you can all just hang in the chat every once in a while.
Well, we're actually thinking of Toy Frenzy avatars.
Yeah, we've been working on AI Toy Frenzy avatars. In fact, right now we're digital,
Yeah,
folks.
right.
That's
This is
also
all
not a lie.
pre-recorded. Yeah.
It is digital. This is pre-recorded. How are we answering we're using a chat bot to
Yeah,
answer your questions in the chat.
yeah. You get the little glitch. Yeah.
See my 10 fingers?
Oh, man.
I'm hoping that some artist focuses on the AI hands and just does a series of photos of weird AI hands.
Yeah, you have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's a real issue.
Yeah.
Kind of love it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like that
All right,
stuff?
Bobby. What's coming up for you? What do you got? What do you got going on?
I got nothing going on. I got to get rid of this COVID brain fog of mine
Yeah.
that I'm having. I've tried to write that story that you were going to narrate. Every time I turn the computer on, I'm like, I crack the knuckles, about to ready to go. Fuck it, and I just shut off because I can't do it. It's
Yeah.
just
Hey.
it's strange. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm taking a shower and I get like, oh, this will be cool. This will be cool for that story. And I'm like, and I'm changing it as I'm going. And I go, okay, I'm getting ready, get all excited, turn the computer on, fuck. And I just don't
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, it's just it's bad. And
Well,
I was already supposed to have my next Decker coming up. I was actually planning on having the story start next week,
no
but
pressure, but we're hungry for it. We're hungry
yeah,
for it.
I hope so.
We
But
want it. But don't rush yourself either.
no,
It's got to be. It's the creative process is difficult to corral.
yeah,
And if you're not, whether it be COVID brain fog, which I experienced after I had COVID last year, like it was
yeah,
like hard to get back into the swing of things,
yeah,
and that's real. That's very real.
it is. Yeah,
Um,
I have problems with work too with it. So yeah, it's like
yeah,
a whole thing. Yeah,
concentrating at work. Yeah,
I
it's
told I
hard.
told my boss that yesterday. I told him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's good you did too because it's a real issue.
Well, I don't really
Um,
talk to my boss too often, and he called me to see how things are going, and I said, I don't want to use this as an excuse, but I'm because I have to concentrate real hard on stuff. I have to
mm,
write specs, I have to do quotes and all kinds of stuff,
yeah.
order materials and things like that. And it's just like I got all this stuff going on. I sit down and I get ready to go, and then like to look at Instagram, and it's terrible. It's hard.
Well, Instagram's like the biggest like mind suck. It's
Yeah, it
like
is.
it's so if you're supposed to be productive in your
Yeah.
life, Instagram can start off like a nice break and then it becomes
Right.
a vortex.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said I
Um
do that. It's like, okay, I can't concentrate. I'm gonna look at this for a couple minutes, like, look at some funny shit, and then all of a sudden it's like an
mhm,
hour later. I'm like, oh my god, I
yeah.
lost a whole hour.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And I've
messed
never
up,
been
man.
like that before, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, well, I mean, no rush. I will say I do have a technique that I use if I'm feeling a block,
Yeah.
and that is to like when I'm because I write too,
Mhm.
and when I'm stuck on I have an idea of what I want to write,
Yeah.
I and I'm stuck getting started. I focus on uh, I think about like a scene or I think about an image and I focus on a mundane detail. Like that Decker Northcutt is sitting at a at a table.
Yeah.
All right. So that in this scene Decker's sitting at a table. That's hard to write. And what is he? How is it? What's the motivation of the scene? How is he going to
Right.
get
Right.
started? What's the situation? So you pick a mundane detail like the type of table, or
Mhm.
the surface of the table, or the corner of the table, and you just write to describe that.
Yeah.
And once you start describing that mundane detail, none of that's probably going to end up in your story,
Right.
but at least you're working into it. It's like you're
Yeah.
starting. You got a messy garage. You start with the corner that's the easiest to navigate, and you just start working through it. And it's kind of that same thing. And I find it doesn't always work, but most of the time it works. I'll Before I know it, I'm describing this meaningless detail,
Mhm.
and then I'm talking about uh, Decker and Northcutt's hand like tapping on the table, and before I know it, now I understand the tension and the
Yeah.
anxiety in the
Yeah.
situation, and I begin to write the scene. So it's just a technique.
Yeah.
It requires taking that first step into like
Right.
describing a a very a very meaningless thing that you'll probably end up cutting later on, but at least it
Yep.
gets the juices flowing.
Yeah. That's terrible advice. I don't think I'll take that. So
I know.
no, I'm just kidding.
Worst advice ever.
Yeah.
Um, but it does, it works. It works. It works.
Yeah.
Most of the time it works.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of the time it works.
Yeah. I just gotta
Um,
just do it. I know what the story. I know what I'm gonna write. I just don't have the will to do it. I guess to say. I just don't feel like doing it when I start.
yeah.
So it's just tough. Yeah.
Well, I
It'll
mean,
come.
Vine Jungle Figure Factory actually kind of makes a good point. You start with the most boring thing and then you rage your way to something interesting.
Yeah.
It's like plowing your way through this tedium,
Yeah.
but then it becomes interesting.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to get started. And
Yeah.
if you're feeling that brain fog or if you're feeling that lack of motivation,
Yeah.
it's just fucking hard. It's
It is. Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Because I
It's
got like
really
the
hard.
whole story planned for that, and then I have the whole case number 2 planned, and another single story planned. I just gotta do it.
Yeah. Well, we're all anxiously awaiting.
Yeah.
No pressure. No
No, I
pressure.
know.
But I'm hungry for it. I
Yeah.
love it. I've even re-listened to
Oh, really?
the first series.
Oh, thank you.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Um, let's see. For me, it's also to sit down and do it. Yeah, just to
Yeah.
doing it. It's
Right. That's
hard,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm having a problem with. And
and that's
I
why.
didn't have that with the first series, and I think it's just like I said, it's happening with me at work too. So
Yeah, yeah, it's hard. If we can't get them, if we can't harness the motivation,
yeah.
it's really hard to get into it, and
Right.
that's why I feel like if we start with something that requires no critical thinking, just description,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, and then you're just doing the action of it. You're at the action of writing or
Right.
whatever it might be. Um, so once again, folks, Eternia Land Map Contest. I know that you're all watching this. Or I know all of you are creatives. You don't have to be artistically inclined. The due date for the Eternia Land Map Contest is February 22nd. I'm gonna write it my email in here so um, you don't have to look down in the comments or the description. I think I got that right. You just email them to email your drawings or your sketches, or however you want to do it. Maybe you've got a bunch of toothpicks and you're just gonna stick them in a bunch of styrofoam or something. I don't know. Whatever you're gonna do, there has to be. There's no requirement that there's artistic effort at all. Just have fun with it. I want to, we want to see your version of what an Eternia land, Eternia as a theme park, thinking about Disneyland or Disney World or these or Knott's Berry Farm, these places that are immersive experiences, and show us your ideas for Eternia Land. Again, it's due February 22nd. The winner will be announced February 29th. The winner gets a giant folder of these incredible prints of amazing Masters of the Universe artwork that were donated to the channel by David, Motu Origins Cork David, for this particular purpose, for giving away at contests. So this is the last batch that I have over here in Skelevator Land. But yeah, so go ahead and participate. Nothing really new happening for me over here. I'm gonna be, Weekly Weirdo is still on hold while I work my way through Snake Mountain, because weekends are the time when I can work on this thing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be plowing my way through that. Working a little bit more this weekend. I feel like last weekend I made quite a bit of progress. Um, I keep getting I get comments sometimes where folks are like, "Man, this is taking forever." Well, it is taking forever. It's I want to make it with care,
Yeah.
and I also you should also know, folks, that I can't really work on it during the week because I got a
They really
job and
say
stuff.
that?
But not in a negative way. It's just like, man,
Oh.
this is taking forever. Like this is taking a long time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Um, and oh, thank you, Ace. The weekly weirdo videos will come back. I appreciate that.
Season 2.
Season 2 of Weekly Weirdo. How do people even keep track of seasons in the YouTube verse? But yeah, that so anyways, it takes a while because I work on the weekends, and it's, plus I'm being very careful to make this thing be sturdy.
Mhm.
And but yeah, I'm excited to continue working on it this weekend. And uh yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly when Eternia is going to come my way, but